As we delve into the remarkable transformations happening in Vietnam, you will be astounded. Vietnam borders China, Laos, and Cambodia on 3 sides and covers around 331,000 square kilometers. It is the 15th most populous country in the world with a population of about 100 million. With an average age of approximately 32 years, this nation boasts a largely youthful population. There are 54 recognized ethnic groups in the nation, and they all contribute something special to the cultural fabric in the form of language, rituals, and history. Roughly 85% of the population identifies as kin, an ethnic Vietnamese group. Vietnam is home to a rich tapestry of ethnicities and religions, with notable minorities including the Hmong, Tay, and Cham. Listen in as we explore the real Vietnam and show you why this incredible country should be on your bucket list. 1. Urban areas. First, we will go to Hanoi, the capital. Hanoi is a historically rich and architecturally stunning city that dates back to the 11th century. In stark contrast to the lively marketplaces and crowded streets, the city's French colonial architecture features stately structures and boulevards lined with trees. The sacred sword legend takes place at Hoan Kiem Lake, a popular tourist destination in the city. An additional important site, the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, receives pilgrims from all over the globe who come to honor the revolutionary leader. Saigon, or Ho Chi Minh City, is our next stop. The cultural and economic center of the world and the biggest city in Vietnam is located here. Coexisting with modern skyscrapers are ancient Buddhist temples and remnants of the colonial era. Places of historical significance such as the Reunification Palace, the War Remnants Museum, and Ben Thon Market serve as powerful reminders of the country's turbulent past and its dogged pursuit of independence. Another treasure is the coastal city of Da Nang, which is well known for its beautiful beaches like Mai Kea Beach and Non Nuoc Beach. Some of the city's natural attractions include the Ba Na Hills Golden Bridge and Marble Mountains. Its natural beauty and modern infrastructure combined to make it a popular tourist destination. Hoi An, an ancient town in the middle of Da Nang, is famous for its lantern-lit streets, traditional wooden houses, and the iconic Japanese covered bridge. It is also well preserved. Additionally, Hoi An is well known for its tailor shops and delicious local dishes such as Khao Lao noodles. Hue, the former imperial capital, is greatly important historically. Tourists swarm to the royal tombs and imperial citadel. Hue is renowned for its distinctive dishes such as royal cakes and bun bo hue. Finally, among the must-see attractions in Vietnam is Ha Long Bay, a World Heritage Site recognized by UNESCO for its stunning limestone karsts and emerald waters. Floating villages, mysterious caverns, and boat rides are all available to tourists. Did you know, though, that Vietnam's history is littered with lesser-known but no less inspirational characters whose tales are seldom told? Keep watching to find out who these unsung heroes are. 2. The past. The first written accounts of Vietnam appear in the 2nd century BC, so the country's history is well over a millennium old. Throughout the country's history, women have played pivotal roles as they were shaped by different kingdoms and dynasties. A revolt against Chinese control was spearheaded by the Trung sisters, Trung Truc and Trung Ni, in the 1st century AD. Their courage elevated them to the status of national heroes, and they remain symbols of Vietnamese resistance to this day, motivating women all over Vietnam. Vietnamese history is littered with invasions and occupations by various foreign powers, including the Chinese and the French, who both colonized the country in the 19th century. Women played an important role in court politics and cultural patronage during the Nguyen dynasty, which united Vietnam in the early 19th century. Throughout the nearly 30-year Vietnam War, the independence movement in Vietnam reached its height. In this war, the United States and the Soviet Union backed opposing sides in Vietnam. Images like the 1975 fall of Saigon, which led to Vietnam's reunification under the Communist Party of Vietnam, are emblematic of the war. The strength and invaluable roles played by Vietnamese women during the Vietnam War were brought to light. These women were not only fighters, but also nurses. This demonstrates that you have a profound admiration for the beauty of Vietnam before we delve into more intriguing aspects of the country. 3. Vietnam in the modern era. In the face of overwhelming odds and the devastating effects of war, the Vietnamese people have demonstrated extraordinary fortitude and resolve in restoring their country. Rapid industrialization and deeper integration into the global economy have helped Vietnam rise to the status of rising economic superpower in the last several decades. The smiles on locals' faces as you walk through the streets of Vietnam today are a reflection of the incredible nation's resilience and ability to overcome adversity. The manufacturing and export sectors have been the main drivers of Vietnam's impressive economic growth in the past few years. Foreign investors pour money into the country because of its prominence as a textile, footwear, and electronics manufacturing center. The World Bank found that Vietnam had one of the world's highest gross domestic product growth rates in 2019, at slightly over 7%. Companies have found it easier to operate and thrive in the country thanks to the government's efforts to improve infrastructure and the business environment. This growth would not have been possible without them. When it comes to Vietnam's economy and society, women are major players. Business, education, and healthcare are just a few areas where Vietnam's renownedly strong and enterprising women are making a difference. The International Finance Corporation found that 1/3 of Vietnam's businesses are owned by women, which is a huge boon to the country's economy. Environmental sustainability and social inequality are two of Vietnam's challenges despite the country's fast development. To achieve long-term equitable growth, the government is hard at work crafting policies to fix these problems. 4. Longtime practices. Vo Vietnam and Quan Ki Dao are two of Vietnam's ancient martial arts traditions that have become an integral part of Vietnamese culture and identity. Combat techniques that have been passed down through the ages combine physical fighting with more abstract mental and spiritual practices. To this day, people of all ages continue to train in public parks and gyms, carrying on this ancient martial art. One of the most notable ones is Vo Vietnam, which is also called Viet Vo Dao. Vo Vietnam, which was established in 1938 by Grandmaster Nguyen Loc, combines traditional and modern methods, utilizing tools such as staffs and swords, grappling, and high-flying scissor takedowns. This martial art is more than simply a means of self-defense. It is an all-encompassing method of developing self-control, reverence, and psychological health. Over 70 nations now use Vo Vietnam as a competitive sport, and it has been featured in major international events like the Southeast Asian Games. There has been a noticeable shift in the martial arts community, with more and more women establishing themselves in Vo Vietnam. Women in Vietnam, for example, are showing off their physical strength in training and competition, which reflects the changing cultural views on gender roles. Bien Dinh and Tai Son are two other prominent Vietnamese martial arts, each with its own distinct methods and ideologies. 5. Production of coffee. We can't discuss Vietnam's cultural wealth without mentioning its thriving coffee industry. The coffee industry has grown to become vital to the national economy. In terms of both production and export, Vietnam is now second only to Brazil in the coffee industry. Vietnam is now a major player in the international coffee market thanks to decades of investment and innovation. Over 95% of Vietnam's coffee comes from Robusta beans. Estimates place Vietnam's coffee production for the 2023-2024 market year at about 31.3 million 60kg bags. Lower domestic supplies and higher prices, however, might cause a 4% decline in coffee exports. Women play an essential role in Vietnam's coffee industry, especially in rural regions where they tend to coffee plants and harvest beans. Keeping productivity and quality at a high level relies on their work. A better coffee supply chain would not have been possible without initiatives that encourage gender parity and give women more agency in farming. These programs raise the economic and technical standing of women farmers by providing them with training and resources. A big part of Vietnamese society revolves around coffee. People in Vietnam tend to take their time sipping coffee, either at home or in neighborhood cafes, in contrast to the hectic coffee culture in the West. The significance of Robusta coffee, characterized by its robust and bitter flavor, is highlighted by this distinctive feature of Vietnamese coffee culture. There have been notable advancements in the coffee industry's business side made by Vietnamese women as well. Local businesses that have achieved success in both local and international markets include Phu Long Trading Production Company and Lay's Coffee. 6. After dark. You won't find a nightlife scene like Vietnam's anywhere else. Do you ever wish you knew what makes it so special and why tourists just must see it? Make sure you tune in. In contrast to the United States, where the legal drinking age is 21, Vietnam does not impose any minimum age requirement for either purchasing or consuming alcohol. Many tourists, particularly those from nations with more stringent laws, are surprised to see no minimum age requirement. On the busy streets of Saigon at night, you can easily spot Vietnamese people of all ages, from teens to retirees, sipping refreshing beers. Envision yourself strolling through these colorful streets adorned with the presence of stunning Vietnamese women and a plethora of lights. This is not an illusion, it is reality. The vibrant nightlife of Vietnam is an unforgettable adventure. Nighttime in Saigon and Hanoi is when the city really comes to life. There's an abundance of liveliness and friendliness on the streets, drawing revelers of all ages. Pulsating music and lively conversations fill the air in bars, clubs, and cafes. Indulge in the chilled and revitalizing beer by Ahoy at this establishment, all while taking in the vibrant urban ambience. 7. The food. Countless food stalls will line the lively streets of Vietnam as you stroll through them at night. Vietnam is a kitchener's dream if you adore Asian food. The abundance of herbs and spices, along with the lightness of flavor and harmony of texture, have made Vietnamese cuisine famous around the world. You can find dishes all over the nation that expertly combine the four cornerstones of local cuisine: meat, seafood, vegetables, and rice. Pho, a rice noodle soup with flavorful sauces, fresh herbs, and meat, is one of the most well-known dishes. Every meal of the day, from morning to night, features this mouth-watering dish. Món mì, a sandwich composed of crispy baguette meats, vegetables, and spicy seasonings, is another beloved dish. Bánh mì is a dish that combines French baguettes with Vietnamese ingredients like pickled vegetables, pâté, and different types of meat, which illustrates the country's association with French colonization. Che refers to a wide range of Vietnamese sweets, such as puddings, fruit jellies, and sweet soups, frequently prepared with sticky rice, beans, and fruit. Flavors, aromas, and textures all coming together in harmony is what really sets Vietnamese cuisine apart. A distinct complexity and brightness are imparted to the dishes by the abundance of ingredients. 8. Money spent. You might believe you have a good idea of how inexpensive life is in Vietnam, but you might be surprised by one expense. Are you able to identify it? Many people are drawn to Vietnam because of its incredibly low cost of living. Vietnam provides visitors with more for their money than other Southeast Asian countries, so they can make the most of their vacation. When compared to other cities, the rent in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, two of Vietnam's busiest, is significantly lower. Rent in the center of Hanoi for a one-bedroom apartment, for instance, can range from $300 to $500/month. A comparable apartment in Ho Chi Minh City would cost $400 to $600 monthly. Vietnam is still a great place to get groceries and eat out on a budget. For as little as $3 to $5 per person, you can enjoy delectable meals at nearby restaurants. A complete dinner seldom costs more than $15, even at fancier restaurants. The prices of fruits, vegetables, and other necessities are surprisingly low when you shop at local markets. Cultural pursuits, leisure activities, and transportation are just a few more areas where this financial ease is evident. If you're looking for a place to live well without going into debt, Vietnam is definitely worth considering. Please listen for just 10 seconds while I make a special request before we delve into the attraction of Vietnamese women. Simply clicking the subscribe button would be greatly appreciated if you could assist me in any way. Your support means the world to this channel, and I assure you that my team and I will go above and beyond to ensure that you have an exceptional experience with this show. Is there an agreement? 9. Women. It is impossible to look at Vietnamese women and not be captivated by their gracefulness and beauty. The gracefulness and fragility of these women's features is breathtaking. Vietnamese women are stunningly beautiful with their dark hair and silky skin. They have a rich cultural heritage, and it shows in their expressive, lively eyes. A lot of them dress traditionally, like the áo dai, which is a long, flowing garment that makes their slim figure stand out. However, there is much more to the physical attractiveness of Vietnamese women. Their ability to juggle domestic duties with a growing presence in the workforce is a testament to their tenacity, resolve, and character. This remarkable resilience has been passed down through generations of women who have endured war and hardship. From working as farmhands in rural areas to holding positions of leadership in businesses and other organizations, their abilities are practically limitless. You will often see Vietnamese women toiling away in the fields, growing rice and other crops as you make your way through the villages and towns of the country. Their tireless effort to support their families, whether it's lifting heavy baskets or paddling boats, is inspiring. Vietnamese women are truly remarkable role models because of their beauty, strength, and determination. 10. Landscape. The spectacular scenery and ancient temples that stretch from the northern to southern regions of Vietnam are another draw for tourists. The natural contrasts in Vietnam are breathtaking. Immerse yourself in the breathtaking bays of Ha Long, where hundreds of limestone islands rise from turquoise waters, or marvel at the majestic mountain ranges encircled by forests, like the Hoang Lien Essen Mountains with their loftiest peak, Mount Phan Xipang. Vietnam is famous for its beautiful landscapes, but it is also known for its religious and architectural treasures. The spirituality and beauty of Buddhist temples, such as Hanoi's Temple of Literature and Da Nang's Linh Ung Pagoda, captivate the imaginations of visitors. The ancient traditions of Vietnam are preserved at these sacred sites, which also provide a rare chance to learn about the profound spiritual and cultural ties that bind the Vietnamese people to their homeland. In terms of faith, the Vietnamese people practice a wide variety of faiths. Despite the fact that approximately 75% of the population adheres to Buddhism, other faiths hold considerable sway. And the cultural practices and interpersonal dynamics of Vietnam are profoundly impacted by the 7% of the population that adheres to Confucianism and Taoism. The Saigon Cathedral and the 7% Catholic population are both vestiges of the French colonial era. In addition to Catholics, there are adherents of Chaotism, a syncretic faith that blends aspects of Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism, and the Catholic Church. The religious diversity in Vietnam is a reflection of the country's cultural diversity and tolerance. 11. Traffic. Although the traffic in Vietnam appears chaotic at first look, there is actually a remarkable hidden harmony to it. Has the seamless operation ever baffled you? It would be fascinating to talk about this subject. With thousands of motorbikes outpacing cars and bicycles, traffic in Vietnam can be quite chaotic at times. The traffic in Vietnam might appear to be in utter disarray at first sight. Motorcyclists go through traffic at high speeds, frequently disregarding pedestrians and other road signs. Pedestrians rely on their evasive skills as they navigate the roads alongside vehicles. On the other hand, a remarkable efficiency lies beneath this seeming disorder. In traffic, Vietnamese people have perfected a kind of choreographed dance, where they anticipate each other's moves and manage to be agile even when things get chaotic. Nobody seems to be paying attention to the road, so major accidents are unusual. Another notable feature of Vietnam's public transportation system is how easy it is to use. The city's extensive networks of buses, trains, and subways make getting around easy for both locals and tourists, and the fares are quite cheap. Please subscribe to our channel and hit that like button if you liked today's video. We greatly appreciate your support.